and we did get it. We finally got payment for that. So that check has been received, and that has been applied to all the trees that we had purchased.
Okay.
The Emerald Ash Board discussion on possible city grant. I know we talked about this earlier. It'd be something very similar to the stormwater share program, where an applicant would submit their application. It's just kind of in the talk phase right now. The only thing that's really holding it up right now is funding.
Okay.
We don't know where we come up with the funding. Everybody likes the idea because we'd like to get a lot of these ash trees down that are around town. Last summer, just driving around town, you'd see if you saw a dead tree, it was basically an ash tree, and there's starting to be a lot more of them. We realize it's going to be, eventually it's going to become a safety hazard, and it also looks, very bad.
Right.
It would really, what we're thinking, if we did this, maybe that would entice a homeowner to go ahead and take their tree down rather than just let it sit there.
Right.
So that's the whole idea behind this. I know there's a lot of support behind it, but funding is where it's at right now. So
depending on the source of funding, would that have to go through council before it gets approved, or if the Arbor Day Foundation decides to provide grant for it, that would kind of go through?
Yeah, but they're not. There are no grants available.
Okay.
For ash trees.
Got it.
They are not doing it.
Okay.
Yep. I talked with the Iowa DNR about it, and they said there are no grants available.
Okay.
And probably will not be. This would have to be one that would be in-house.
All right.
So would you do like a 1-to-1 replacement or something?
Well, what we're trying to do is pay for the cost of removing the tree.
Okay.
So let's just, for example, we'd have to come up with a percentage, but let's say we pay for 25% of it,
Mm-hmm.
and the homeowner pays the 75% of the tree removal. All we're trying to do is entice the homeowner to actually take these trees down sooner than just let them sit there, become a hazard, and look terrible.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you were giving away trees.
No, that'd probably be a next phase.
That would be great also. But,
I was going to say, I'm like,
right
I
now,
got 2 more to go.
No, right now we're just trying to get the ash trees removed.
Okay.
So
Approximately how much does it cost per tree to take one down?
it all depends on size, and if there are any hazards along with that. Let's say power lines and stuff like that. But let's say probably I don't know, maybe a 14-inch tree would probably cost around $1,000.
Wow.
To take down. Yeah, and the bigger they get, the more it costs. So it's not cheap at all.
So if a tree is in the power lines, is there any assistance from the power companies? I know that when we lived in the country, we had trees. If they were causing a problem with the power lines, they would come out and trim them.
And they do.
So
They
would there
do
be
come out.
that? Could that be a help to some of these homeowners?
It's possible, but they're not going to take the whole tree down.
No.
I wouldn't think. They come in and they clear cut sections of trees out to make a clearance zone for their power lines.
Mm-hmm.
But is that just in the right of way areas? I mean, like our power line goes
Yeah,
from the pole to our house.
yeah.
So,
They,
and ours isn't buried.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if, okay.
This would most likely be the next fiscal year, I would imagine, in order to find funding. Even if you could find it, it would have to be next year.
If it becomes a higher priority, things can change pretty quick.
Is there anything the community can do to get council ear on the issue, or?
Well,
they're working on budgeting ideas. I think I saw a couple posts of asking for feedback for items to be put on the budget for next year or next fiscal.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. Ultimately, it is the homeowner's responsibility to have that taken care of. We're just trying to maybe speed up the process a little bit and entice people to do these, to take down trees, similar to stormwater management. It's just, making improvements. It's good for the city.
All right. Thank you. Other tree topics not listed?
Anything?
Maybe they can offer like a coupon for like a new tree if they take down their other one. I don't know.
Any other questions or comment? All right. Move on to the next item, our Muddy Creek and Trail cleanup.
Yes, that's our annual cleanup. You'll see a flyer that will be out. You're all welcome to join us. I will make sure, since this is right before our next board meeting, I'll make sure that I send this out again to all of you, just as a reminder. It's very beneficial. You would not believe how much that creek picks up trash over the winter. We normally get a ton or truckload or more of debris, tires, what people throw off in the ditch and stuff like that. It's just a good cleanup to have done, and the reason why we do it as early as we do is before things start to grow and overgrowth, and you can't see the trash. So it's normally a pretty good timing when they get out there and start removing the trash and stuff. But be more than happy to have you there if you're able to. But like I said, I'll send out a reminder when the time comes.
Okay. And this event is with the assistance of a couple Boy Scout troop, 216, and the Cub Scout pack, 216 and 275. I think they've been doing this for the last few years.
Long time.
Okay.
Yeah, many years. It's been a joint effort. Very well, much appreciated. Yep. So, yes.
Are there other areas that could be looked at to do cleanups as well, or is
there are always areas, different tributaries that kind of offshoot from the Muddy Creek that could always be hit. However, that would take quite a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time, and there's believe it or not, a lot of private property on Muddy Creek. So the public areas that we're involved with by the rec center and then a little bit south of there are some of the only publicly owned areas of Muddy Creek. We have trail along it, but even that goes through private property that we just have trail easement on.
Okay. Thanks.
But it can be anywhere also, along streets and parks. All of that eventually is going to get to Muddy Creek. So it benefits anywhere you can pick up trash to help with the stormwater in Muddy Creek. We replaced some tile in some backyards that was halfway across town, leading straight to Muddy Creek, and we probably pulled a pickup load of Fireball and soda cans and pop bottles, and and it had completely plugged it, and all of that was headed directly to Muddy Creek. So.
Yeah. Another thing that we do, and I've been working with the city ambassadors, we have all these detention ponds in development areas that we own, and it's always good to get out there and clean out around the edges of the pond at this time of the year too. But there are a few areas that notoriously that I have residents that help out. So
I think the Cedar Spring neighborhood, they posted something where they actually have a community day where they go out and clean up their ponds there. So,
and I have a group out at West Lakes that like to go out there and clean up trash too. So,
would that be something if a group were to do that and provided everything as far as garbage bags and everything that the city could help with disposing of that?
What we normally do, we can supply trash bags.
Okay.
You can put the full ones in a localized area, and let's say it's on a Saturday, then like Monday we'll come through and pick it all up and dispose of it. That's what we normally do. We can supply bags, which we have for many years. We've supplied the bags.
So we could just contact you.
Just contact me. Oh, yeah, good. And I've dropped off a lot of garbage bags on residents' doorsteps just in anticipation of cleanup days and stuff like that. So
very good.
And this event is scheduled for Saturday, April 8th, 2023, at 9 a.m. at Rec Center on
North
parking lot.
side of the
Yep.
rec center.
Meet up there, and the city staff would provide, like Guy said, garbage bags. For the few times that I've been there, it helps to come with rain boots. And it's been raining a couple times that we've been there too, like a poncho and really good gloves and what are those things that you use to pick up, like
Grabbers.
the grabbers. Yep, they do help out quite a bit. So, all right, thank you. Next item. Haven't figured out. Stormwater report.
Yep, it's a pretty slow time of the year. So this was for the previous meeting in January. It's been a pretty mild winter, but I'll still bring up, if you have some storm drains in front of your homes or something like that, if you see a bunch of ice and snow backed up in those, it always helps just to cut a little channel out. You don't even have to clear the whole thing. That is, if we get more snow, it really helps with flooding the streets and the rapid snow melts we can get in the spring. If it snows again, we'll see. It's been kind of a funny winter. Other than that, this winter I've just been pretty much working on permit language and in reports. That's not real exciting for the public to hear about. I'd be happy to get into it, but it's not necessary. So that's pretty much keeping me in the office doing that stuff. That about sums up my last couple months.
Any more thought on the art program, the storm drain?
Yeah, we need to. I was going to go out last fall and try to figure out a good method to clean the old ones off. Some of the ones that are starting to look not so nice anymore. Whether it's clean them off or just paint over them with like a primer and then leave that out. I don't know if we'd want to do something other than the program that we're having now is just the public calls and applies and sends in their artwork and will approve or not approve. It's approved almost 100% of the time. And see if maybe we can get some help to repaint those ones, because I think they're in great locations and we just had incredible feedback on them when they were done the first time. But I'd hate to let them, just continue to degrade, and I don't think they can be touched up. They just need to be redone. So I don't know if how we should reach out for those ones, or if we just wait for applications to come in and then we suggest those areas. Some of them might be a little bit different. They're on busier roads. They're around Liberty Center Pond. So that would probably involve a little bit more with maybe some lane closure or something like that if we're going to have the public in there. So it's something that I'm hoping this summer we can figure out something. Maybe Guy and I can sit down and see if we want to reach out to the schools again, maybe, or just put a big blast out in Facebook or something to get that back out there.
Maybe there could be like a contest. I don't know if that would.
Yeah, it
could be competitive.
You'd
have to have a prize.
That's kind of how it initially started. It was a contest with students.
Mm-hmm.
It involved quite a bit of staff time, honestly, to get all that organized. Dealing with the kids added a little bit more because we had a teacher that came and she did most of the planning and the work and oversaw the kids painting and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's an option. I'm willing to put in the time to do it because I think they're great when they're finished. And I've talked to people from all over the country have called me to talk to me about how we've done it in our program, what supplies we use, how we started it all. So it's words out there for North Liberty and in doing that. I think Doris saw it first, in Tennessee or something?
Arkansas.
And so that was brought up to this board and that's where it went. So Doris, go repaint those for
Yeah,
us.
I know. Actually, I was thinking, I was like,
I remember you volunteered to paint one.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
There's
You're
some
going
pretty
to,
awesome
really?
ones when you
Yeah.
look online, like an octopus climbing out or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just really fun.
I've
Yeah,
been trying
they're-
to get them on the university campus for a very long time. I've yet to get approval for them, but that's why I brought it here. I was like, at least I can get it done here.
Yeah, they're nice. They're
Yeah.
a lot of people know about them and they like them. So I'd love to have it continue and just keep going with it.
I think a Facebook blast would.
Yeah, and I know the communications department put one out, I'm pretty sure every spring. And then randomly throughout the year, they throw stuff in there.
Cool. For stormwater drain clearing, do we have? I know bigger cities have like a sand reclaiming system where instead of going to the drainage, they have like a vacuum truck that drives and sweeps the floor, the street. Do we do that here?
Yeah, we do the streets every year.
Okay.
We do them in the fall, I believe, and then also in the spring they do 1 or 2 full passes on every road in the town.
Got it.
And then we take that, and then the streets department will, when they dispose of that, because that's all contaminated, so that has to go to the landfill. They'll get the weights, and then they compare that to how much they buy every year, and it kind of gives them a good estimate on how much they put down, and then how much is essentially lost into the storm drains.
Cool. Any other questions for Mike?
I have some other topics I'd like to talk about.
Go ahead.
All right. This is on the line of stormwater and what we are actively doing to promote stormwater. So Penn Meadows Park, we are putting in a new parking lot on the north side, and we're going to incorporate pavers in a lot of that parking lot to take some of the water flow. So that's one thing. And then out at Centennial Park, it's in our budget too. All the pavers out there that require maintenance. So we're probably going to have Mike go out there, someone go out there and try to suck up some of the cracks and stuff. But the pavers all need new chip in them. So we're going to put new chip in that this year. That's in the budget too. So those are a couple things on my side that we're going towards stormwater.
Are you going to use the same system as you have out at Centennial?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You mean at the new parking lot? Not the whole parking lot. There'll just be
Just strips?
strips, so it can still flow. But then once it gets to those strips, it will take the water.
So it's held up okay?
Yeah, it's held up
Yeah.
excellent.
Ours have failed.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that, and I don't know, and I think the same company did most of that type of paver in
It wasn't those. I have the arching ones.
okay.
Yeah,
The brick pavers that we use,
They're interlocking.
yep,
Yeah,
and they've held up.
okay.
I mean, they're not getting the same traffic that like a roadway would,
No.
but they get quite a bit of traffic though. Even in the parking areas around the playgrounds where there's always cars there,
Yeah.
they're still holding up great. And I think with Guy adding more chip in there and keeping that maintained is going to keep those blocks locked where they need to be and in good shape.
Do you have anything similar to, I think it's Cornerstone? That trail was kind of that permeable concrete.
That's failing.
That's failing?
And so is the south side of Penn Meadows Park. That is permeable paper, or not? I mean,
Porous concrete.
porous concrete. That's failing too.
Okay.
In fact, Mike and I just talked about that.
Yeah,
What we're going to do.
and that's just the product. There's a reason that's not used anywhere anymore. It was, that was one of the first ideas for this whole porous
Pervious concrete. That's it.
Yep, and it held up for, pretty decent. But
Ours is longer than most.
Yeah, and what Guy's dealing with is once it starts going, like it quickly degrades
Just
and
kind of crumbles.
Yeah, we call it unraveling. It's just crumbles.
Yeah.
Just think of a Rice Krispie bar that lost all its marshmallow.
Exactly.
Because that's what it looks like.
Exactly. Yeah.
We used to live in that area, so that's why I knew it was kind of right when that was
Yeah.
put down. So I hadn't seen it for quite some time. I didn't know how it held up, but
Yeah.
Apparently not well. So,
Well, I mean, ours much longer than most.
Yeah.
But we don't put salt on it and we don't put sand on it. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
mhm.
I think our next meeting we'll touch base on fertilizers and stuff like that, in street, but as a reminder.
All right, so we'll move on to old business. Anybody has any subject or items they want to bring back from previous meetings? No?
No.
New business? Anybody wants to bring something new?
I'll bring up one thing. I am currently seeking seasonal employees for the year. So if you're interested in working for the Parks Department, mostly in landscaping, in stormwater, which is, a lot of that is the landscaping in stormwater areas now, you can go to the website and apply.
All right, next item, setting the date for our next meeting, April 12th, 2023 at 7 p.m., same location. And with that, I would open the floor for meeting adjournment. If anybody wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, motion passes, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for
Yeah.
coming today.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.